Alright, ladies and gentlemen. So today is the anniversary, the 5th year anniversary of Spider-Man 3. So with that said, I manned up and actually watched it for the 5th anniversary. Yeah, so the last time I ever watched Spider-Man 3 was actually the day the DVD came out, which was October 30th. Oh my gosh. Where do I begin? So I decided to just do the pros and cons, and from there I'll just basically talk about it. Alright. So I made a list of all the pros and cons as I was watching it. And one thing I can agree on is that for the pro, I'm just going to list all the pros and all the cons, and then I'll basically grill the cons. Alright, here's all the pros. The intro music to the movie was good. The casting, the photo casting of the photos, the beginning you see all of their photos and stuff, and they were in webs. I enjoyed that. The cave thing that they had. The cave that they showed when Spider-Man was doing a deep swing. I enjoyed that too. I like the fact that they started off with having Spider-Man have a good life. I mean, he's happy. He's not like in Spider-Man 2 where it's like, yeah, it's like a brand new attitude. Okay, what else? The singing role of Mary Jane. I'll admit that was nice. It was okay. Harry looking along, spying a bit on Peter. Now that was a good one. And then the Peter conflict went after the show when Peter went to see Harry, and yeah, that was also brilliantly made. When Harry went to the lab, that was a good one because they basically established that he's now the new Goblin. Harry's lab, oh, I already said that one. Setup of Sandman, and the fact that they got Thomas Heaton Church to do it. Yeah, I remember him from George in the Jungle. It's kind of funny. So he was a bad guy then, and he was a bad guy now. Alright, next one. Peter and Aunt May. Oh yeah, that's when he was going to get the ring. The one thing that they could have done better in that one is they basically kind of foreshadowed, just a little bit foreshadowed, is basically Aunt May said, do something that she never forgets. Which he tried to, but I was thinking the fact of what happened in the Spider-Man and Spider-Man animated series. When he actually had Mary Jane, he basically revealed himself to Mary Jane, and basically Mary Jane was like, oh my gosh, and so they went web slinging and stuff, and if you saw it, you guys know what happened. Either way. Peter and Harry's fight. The very first fight they have. Wow, that was a good one. I remember seeing that on NBC. It was such a big deal. It was like way big deal. Yeah. And NBC basically did like most of it. They did like the 7 minutes in on it. So they did it for 7 minutes, and then after that they cut the part out. They cut the rest out. I enjoyed it. Let's see what else I enjoyed. Oh, other things. It's just weird that Peter actually is fighting Harry and he's in civilian clothes. It's like, doesn't anyone see this? I mean, someone has to be like, oh, holy crap, it's Spider-Man. You have to be something like that. And the ring, oh my gosh. Putting the ring in there, the fact that the ring fell out of his pocket, and he was like, oh my gosh, tries to web it, and then, ooh, Harry tackles him. That was a good one. That was a good one where they involved the ring. Alright. Next is Harry's fall. The next part is the Harry's fall. That was a good one because they established that Harry could actually have another life. Because I saw in one of the DVDs, which I can't find it now. I can't find which one said it. Is Laura D or something? She was one of the producers. She was the one that said that Harry's life he had an interesting life. I can't wait for what we can do with his life. And that's why I was like, oh man, that's going to be cool. Something's going to happen that's very cool. Instead of, if you guys haven't seen Spider-Man 3, stop watching now. This is a big spoiler thing. So anyways, basically Harry dies. And I don't see what's happening with that. Because she was like, Harry deals deep. Harry does a deal with a demon. He gets married. He overdoses. I mean, they had lots of stuff that they were saying, man, this is gonna. She was like, man, I can't wait to actually see what we can do with him. And that's what you do to him. You just kill him. Yeah, and they kill him the worst way possible. I mean, for some, like my mom, she was like, that's a good way for him to die. But I was like, yeah, no. Alright, next one is Sandman's Reconstruction Medley. Yeah, so the music that they played when he was gathering himself from the sand and getting used to it. Next one is the symbiote in the room. When the symbiote actually was in the room and first it moved something to the side. Mary Jane was like, what? And then she just kept walking and then you just see the symbiote just go under his bed. Next one is Saving Gwen scene. That was one of their good scenes. Yeah, I have to admit that was one of their good scenes. And the adrenaline slowdown, where they actually show play by play how he has to web through some things, and then web through before two big bricks actually almost crushes Spider-Man and he saved her. That was a good one. Stan Lee's cameo. Always a good one. Harry's return. Yeah, so when Harry came back from the hospital, I think, and he actually says, man, I need to change this. I don't have any girls around. I still need to change this. That was when I was like, okay, that's when you invite his wife, his future wife. That's when you enter his future wife, man. Seriously. So that is where Liz Allen comes to play, which I knew her name was Liz Allen, but I didn't really know she was Liz Allen because I didn't really pay attention a lot. So to actually find out he dated Liz Allen and married her, wow. Peter's guilt. Yeah, Peter's guilt on the fact that he had to lay his father down. And he can't tell Harry. Basically, his father said, don't tell Harry. And then he just killed over. Alright, next one is Harry's reflexes. Oh, reflexes. Yeah, showing that he actually, from the formula, it worked. And not only that, but it actually healed his bump on his head. Which, that's also a messed up con. I mean, if you're going to allow him to heal, then how come when the pumpkin bomb hits his face, I expect them to actually heal up instead of you using lots of makeup and adhesive and latex. Yeah, you guys didn't really need to do that. All you have to do is just have him like for one. No, you just show him again. You just have like a little bit of a scar. Screw the whole scar his whole face and make him still look horrible. That's just messed up, man. Sandman's disappearing act. Well, the only thing I have a problem with it now is the fact that who in the world will have a truck full of sand? Who in New York will be like, I need a truck full of sand here? Yeah, I definitely need a truck full of sand. It's like, why in the world would they have a truck full of sand? I mean, I understand if it was by a playground and he hid by a playground in the sand, but it's ridiculous. You actually just have a truck full of sand. That's the only thing that was like ridiculous, but the other stuff is cool. Spider-Man stunts. Yeah, when he got the key to the city and he just swings around, he does a backflip and stuff. Sand effects. Oh yeah, that's when they just, when he breaks into the bank truck Then you have Sandman versus Spidey. That was a good one. I do have to admit. At first, I was kind of like, that's messed up because he shows him. Sounds like he's showing off, saying, I'm the sheriff around these parts. But I was just like, okay, maybe I can take that as in Spider-Man's humor. So I'm okay with that one now. And Peter stands out. I thought I put that as a con. Yeah, that was supposed to be a con. As Peter actually has to take off his mask, take off his boot to drain off the sand. Yeah, I didn't like that at all. Alright, the dude's role. So, if you notice that in every movie, you have the guy who shows up in every movie. First, he was the announcer for the wrestling, whatever you want to call that. And then the second, he was the door manager, I guess you can say. And now he is the waiter, the head waiter in a French restaurant. Which, it's funny. I do have to admit, he is funny on that one. Sandman is Uncle Ben's killer. That's a pro and a con. It's a pro because the blame is not on Peter anymore. I mean, he blames himself, but instead there's another dude that was involved, which means Peter couldn't really have stopped it at all. Well, technically, in the end, it turns out, yes, he could, because the person that thought to shot Uncle Ben actually did shoot him, though, because he was nudging his friend saying, come on! And he had the gun and the trigger, and that nudge, so technically he's still to blame. The con about this part is the fact that it brings to revenge. It basically gets revenge on that one. And MJ's foreshadowing line that even Spider-Man needs help. Suit transformation's a pro and a con. No, suit transformation. Let me try to remember what was the pro and the cons on that one. The pro is just the fact that they did it flawlessly. The con is just the fact that they actually needed a suit to graph it on. I mean, that's just the con. That's what I think the con was, what I was thinking of. Peter goes to Dr. Connors to get it examined. That was a good one. Peter uses shadows with the new suit. Yeah, that was when he was following Sandman, which I think that was cool. The fact that he used the shadows to his advantage on that. The subway fight is a pro and a con. It's a pro because, well, I do have to admit, it was kind of good. The con part is just the fact that it was driven out of revenge instead of defending, you know? Let's see. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, here's one funny thing is that I understood what Dickovich said. Because I thought Dickovich said, he's gone goodbye. Yeah, but what he really said is, he's a good boy, which I didn't understand at first. I thought he said, he's goodbye. Meaning, his good side actually went out the door, and now you have this grumpy guy. Yeah, but instead he said, he's a good boy, which that changes a little bit of stuff. Oops, my mistake. Apparently, Harry... No, that's true. Harry returns. Yeah, Harry returns, meaning Harry gains his knowledge back. That's a pro and a con. The pro is that he can help Peter. The con is just that he can hurt Peter. So, let's just do a recap. They were doing good all the way to Harry's reflexes. Between Harry's reflexes and Sandman's disappearing act, that's where they screwed up big time. And in that one, actually, it's the key to the city where Peter get a bigger head than ever. A big ego, I guess you can say. And that's what really screwed the movie for me. That mostly screwed the movie for me. There was other things that screwed it up for me, but that was one of the things that's like a first stone. Let's see. Next is Peter confronts Harry in black. Yeah. And Peter's and Harry's fight. That was okay. That was good. The only thing I have to say about that is the black suit supposed to stop things from hurting, you know? Because gunshots don't supposed to hurt the black suit. Most likely, if you stab it, it'll bend the freaking knife. But instead, in this movie, they just allowed the knife to actually go into Peter's side. And there's some blood showing. I mean, come on, people. And to also speak, also to elaborate, when I first saw the black suit, they just threw out the other design out the window and just said, okay, let's just dye the suit black and make the spider wider. And then there you go, there's the black suit. I was like, oh my gosh, no, man, that's just not cool. I liked the original black suit. I liked it. Yeah, but later I got to be accustomed to this one. Alright. And in Spectacular Spider-Man, it redeems itself. That's all I have to say. Spectacular Spider-Man, it redeems itself. Okay, next. He got the job. He got the staff job by the symbiote. Yeah, the symbiote actually irked him to get the staff position, screwing Eddie along the way, but he got the staff one. Another one was Peter's solo. Peter's piano solo. That was a good one. That was really good. Peter ridding the symbiote. The pro on that one is just the fact that they did a fabulous job on it. The con is just that I don't really want to see it go, you know? I'm just saying. Peter's shower. The shower after that, it just reflects how he was like, oh my gosh, what I've been doing for the past days. This is crazy. Peter and his aunt has a moment. Basically, he was talking about they were just catching up a little bit. And okay, now Taxi and MJ. All right, first thing I have to just say the fact that before the movie came, I was just looking and seeing everything I can get to know about the movie. And in the cast, if it was like IMBD, yeah, they actually listed Chris Tucker as the taxi driver. So he could actually had a funny part in this movie, but they cut him out. Yeah, they just either cut him out or it was just a rumor. But I would think it would be funny if you had Chris Tucker in Spider-Man 3 as the taxi driver and Eddie commandeers the taxi. I would think it'd go something like this, is that so Eddie walks to Chris Tucker's taxi car and he's like, hey, can I get this car? And he's like, no, man, are you crazy? He's like, no, man, are you crazy? This is my car. This gets out of my payment. And he's like, get rid of the car. And he turns Venom. And he's like, oh my God, okay, you take the car. Take the car. Here are the keys. And he just runs away, going, ah. Yeah, that's what I would think. What happened on that one? All right. Back to the pros. Okay. Oh, yeah. Now, the Taxi and MJ, that was a good one. Yeah, that just brings even more thing instead of questioning, saying, how did Venom get MJ in the first place? Alright, let's see. Next one. Peter goes to save Mary Jane. That was a good one. That's a good sequence. And, well, I'm just saying, yeah, that was before he goes web slinging. He actually got the suitcase under his bed and he got the original suit. I think that was kind of good. That was nice. And if you really think about it, that actually is a salute to the MTV version of Spider-Man, which he actually put his suit in the case, had some bricks, and threw it in the water, saying, farewell, Spider-Man. Alright, so we have Peter asking Harry, which that was a good touching one, which shows MJ's foreshadowing that even Spider-Man needs help. Harry learns the truth about his father, which is about time he learned about that. Spider-Man's arrival. Now that's where the web slinging, and that was a good sequence. Then we have Spider-Man and Sandman, which I enjoy that. That was kind of cool. Without Venom's sorry butt being in a movie, I think that would have actually made a good fight. And Harry didn't really need to be involved, which means Harry would have been safe. And him and Liz Allen could have actually had a dinner date or something. You know, yeah, basically he wouldn't even remember anything still. He'll still try to figure stuff out. I think that would have made a better one, don't you think? Is that he just met Liz Allen when he said, I'm going to get some more girls, and they clicked, and they go on a couple of dates, and basically Harry's happy. Who knows, maybe at the end of the movie you have Harry proposing to Liz Allen. That would have been cool. Anyways, okay. Harry's rescue. When Harry rescues Peter, that was a good one. That was a very good one. Because I didn't see it either, and they had a good way to go with it. Is the fact that he threw a pumpkin bomb in Sandman's face, and boom! That was cool. And make some of the kids most likely think, hey, my gosh, Spider-Man, he can shoot fireballs. That would be some funny crap, too. Alright, Peter bangs. I forgot what that one was about. Oh yeah, Peter, the fact that defeating of Venom. Yeah, when he used the two poles and uses science to expel him. And Sandman's exit and Sandman's clearing his conscience, that was good. And then you basically get at the end that it's still the other dude was still the killer. It's just that it was Sandman who was holding the gun, but the killer was the one that nudged Sandman, and bang. So technically the dude that was taken out is the killer. I would say, in my perspective, he is the killer. Alright, now we go on. No, wait, I'm going to go to the funny parts. Yeah, funny parts, then I'll go to the bad stuff. Spider-Man watching Spider-Man in the beginning of the movie. Funny. Spider-Man gets seated tightly, meaning the two dudes that would sit by him. That was kind of funny. Peter singing along with her. That was a funny one. Peter and Harry's flower comparison. That was just funny. Yeah, that's just like in Spider-Man 2 where he was like, I'm going to buy some flowers. They gave him a big bouquet, and then after he was about to turn away, they were like, hey, wait, and just gave him 3 lousy flowers. My goodness. Another good one was the fact that Peter said, I hate those things. That was funny. Harry's fall. Yeah, that was the funniest part. I wish I recorded it. The fact that I was able to make a soda can do exactly what Harry did when his fall. Yeah, it went bing bong boom, and that's what I did with a Sprite soda can. Too bad I didn't have anyone to record it. And it's like a phenomenon that I could only do twice, and then after that, I couldn't do it anymore. Okay, what about the stupid scientist saying it's only a bird when Flint Marko landed in the sand? That was funny, but they should have got someone to check it out there. Alright, Daily Bugle. The whole Daily Bugle thing where Miss Brent got a buzzer going, eh. That was some funny stuff. And the pills and no anger stuff, that is funny. And now we go to where Peter and Eddie facing off, and he says, give me a picture of Spider-Man with his hand caught in a cookie jar. I mean, like, you can't just not think about what if Peter actually dressed himself as Spider-Man, found a cookie jar, he put his hand in the cookie jar, takes a picture of it, and give it to him. You just can't avoid that thought. Bop me on the head. That one was that was a good, I don't know what to say. It's slang. Alright, it was just good slang to me because I said it several times after I saw the movie. I did it like 2 years ago too. I said it 2 years ago. Harry's reply to the kiss. Yeah, that's funny too. Oh yeah, the spider kiss. Yeah, that was messed up. What was it? Bernard, yeah, Bernard, and talks of a guest when he says, I have a guest over, get some food." He's like, "A guest? A guest?" Next one is Dickovich talk, women's talk. "I'm woman, you man." My goodness. Yeah, that's just a crazy one right there. Oh yeah, Peter actually saying, "Here's dirt in your eye." Or, well, it's supposed to be web, but he said dirt in your eye. Oh, or the funny part of the Daily Bugle has to do a retraction letter. Funny. And then we have Jay Jonah and the camera. He needs to have a camera for the final battle. So he finds a little girl who was beside him. And she said $100. And then she also took the film out and said, "Film isn't cheap." Yeah, that's messed up. Hopefully the film that he got wasn't messed up, because I am a little bit of a photographer too. And technically, if you take it out, you can't really, you have to make sure it's wound up before you take it out. So you first have to wind it up, make sure it's all tight, then you slide the film right into the slot, then wind it from the outside, close it to make sure that no light was shown, and then there you go. If not, then the photos are ruined. So let's hope that that didn't happen. Alright, now we're on to the last part before I give you my 2 cents and then tell you the research I did a month ago. Alright, one thing I didn't like is the symbiote display idea. The fact that you have like all the goo. You just show the goo all over the place. I didn't like that at all. Or the fact that, yeah, they just went overboard with that. Or the fact that the symbiote made a pointy stick of some sort. I didn't like that either. That freaked me out. Okay, how the symbiote came? By a meteor. Seriously, a meteor? I mean, technically the stupid symbiote actually is not fire retardant, which means he's flammable, and that's one of his weaknesses. So technically the impact from space to Earth actually has intense heat, which means he should actually died on his way to Earth. But of course you can say that the meteor is very strong and it was made of a particular metal and it was able to withstand it. Which, the other funny thing is, how come people wasn't like, and in the news we found a meteor? And yeah, why not? You can do it like in the Spider-Man animated series. You actually can call it Promethium X, which is basically a alternate version of lead. That Promethium X had a radioactive decay of like a day or 2. Alright, continuing on. Harry said he would give his life for them. Messed up foreshadowing. I hated that. I hated that. Peter talking to MJ on bad reviews. Yeah, the fact that he kept on saying Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. MJ's replaced. Yeah, that was messed up. And then we have the rest of this part, which is Peter got a big head in the Key to the City event. He has a big head. MJ only tells Harry, not Peter, about she got fired. Peter got even more of a big head. He went out of control. He actually allowed Gwen Stacy to kiss him. Only the kid had it right, and he knew that it was wrong, and he shouldn't have did it because it just basically sucked. MJ's and Peter's date, and that sucked. And then mostly MJ's insecurity. That was like the horrible part of that part. And technically that's the producer's fault because, oh yeah. Well, anyways, I'll just tell you a little bit about the research. Is that the producers wanted Peter to have like some extra love in his life, you know, girl conflict. So they said, okay, well, you have Gwen Stacy. You're introducing Gwen Stacy. Make her a love interest as well. And that's what they did, and look at that. They created a messed up mess in the whatever French place. I disliked him in his costume waiting. Yeah, I didn't like it where he decided to dress himself up in his costume, so if anything comes up, he'll go. And what the good news is that at least his door was broken, so no one can actually go in. But on the other hand, it could be like one unbelievable day where it actually works, and then someone walks in and is like, "Oh, holy crap, Peter, you're Spider-Man." Yeah. That's one reason why I didn't want that to happen. Alright, after he got the black suit, Peter messed with his hair a little bit, which that's where you got the whole emo Peter, dark Peter Parker crap beginning. Which I remember walking by sometimes, and then there was a girl, I forgot her name, started with an F, and she was like, "Emo Peter, I enjoyed Emo Peter in Spider-Man 3. Oh my gosh, man. My goodness. Peter's anger, that's a pro and a con. Yeah, that's a pro and con one. Mostly con, I think. But I've forgotten. I just don't care about explaining it anymore. Peter telling Aunt May about the fight, saying that he's dead. The killer is actually dead. Yeah, that's messed up. MJ calling Harry instead of Peter. Messed up. The trailer playing along with Aunt May's words saying it's a poison. Saying the suit is a poison and such. Which my mom was the one that caught that stuff. Alright, trailer. Oh, you know why I said that. Oh, that was before. Okay, my mistake. Anyways, Harry and MJ cooking time. Now that was the worst thing they put in the movie. Seriously, they have so much stuff that was horrible to put in the movie. I mean, seriously, it's messed up, man. Critics. I mean, producers. Seriously? Is this what you really wanted in the movie? Because you guys were the ones who said Peter needs to have an interest, and then you wanted Mary Jane also have like some kind of thing, having Peter tossed away a little bit. So, are you happy with this crap? Serious producers, are you really happy for what this crap has turned into? Alright, so, but at least they did use it to Harry's advantage to make him remember stuff, and now, bam, he's back to the new Goblin, and then Harry abducts MJ, which basically is just me. What I'm just saying is just the fact that he barged in there saying, "You're gonna have to do something for me, okay?" And forcibly. So MJ dumps Peter. That's the next one, which I was like, man, that is horrible. The dinner scene. I mean, it's a pro and yet it's a con. Seriously, it's a pro and a con. Alright, a black suit is able to be cut. I already said that before, but I'm just going to say it again. The black suit never is able to get cut. It's able to regenerate. But because of those guys, they don't allow it to regenerate whatsoever. Parker in black. Yeah, so instead of the symbiote turning into different clothes, they just have the symbiote wanting him to dress in dark clothes. Dressing in all black. And that includes him silly dancing. So they made the symbiote into some kind of groovy hip thing. And then we have, the black clothes. And he goes on a date with Gwen to upset MJ. Alright, the jazz club. Peter and the jazz club, which basically is just a dinner date. That was horrible. The only part that was good is the fact that Peter was playing the piano out of nowhere. Now that was funny. The rest of it is total crap. MJ gripping Peter. That wasn't a smart idea. I mean, come on, he's Spider-Man. Everyone, even a fighter, everyone who's a fighter can tell you is that there's certain things that you shouldn't do with the person. It's like, if you tap the person in the back, he might have a reflex that will punch you right square in the face. There might be another one where you actually must start massaging his shoulder, and instead of him saying, it's That's a nice shoulder massage. Because he has a reflex, he actually will take you by the neck, chokehold you until you can't breathe. So it's just, MJ, you should have freaking thought that, hey, he's Spider-Man. Should I not? Yeah, I shouldn't do that because it's like as if he's fighting some muggers or something. He has a reflex. I have to be careful. But no, you just went straight in there and bam, there you go. You got hit. Another messed up thing. Brock praying to God for Peter to die. For him to kill Peter Parker. That is a messed up crap too. That's just like what Bart Simpson did with Sideshow Bob. Which, that was funny. Eddie Brock's version, that's crap. Alright, next one is Eddie able to see Peter expel the symbiote. There was one person who was like, how in the world was he able to look up there, way up there, and say, oh my gosh, it's Peter? He shouldn't have. That's a good point there. He shouldn't have been able to do that. He should have been like, huh, that's Spider-Man. I wish I could see, if only I could see a little bit more to see who he really is. Yep, and then all the goop splash on you, and then you know. I mean, that would have been better. And a little tidbit is that when I got the DVD, they actually gave me a comic book called The Black, or I thought it was The Blackening. But that basically tells how Eddie went from the church bells into the taxi cab. It shows everything that happened, which that would have been good for Spider-Man 3.0, 3.1 to put in. But since someone was like, we're going to move the deadline, you have to do it in less than a year. Can you do it? Yeah, so because of them, there is no Spider-Man 3.1. And if you even type in Spider-Man 3.1, we have just some guy, which I say the guy is kind of cool, but you have some guy who was like, I'm making Spider-Man 3.1. I'm taking out all the stuff and making it better. Yeah, but as for the official Spider-Man 3.1, because that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for something to redeem themselves, because Spider-Man 3 was a total wreck. It was such a wreck that I didn't even want to look at it. Yeah, I only just watched it today. And in total, I watched it 3 times. Just 3 times. And in Spider-Man 1 and 2, I bet it was over 100 each. 100 each. And then you have this Spider-Man 3, and I watched it only 3 times. That's messed up. Really messed up. I made sure that by the second one, I memorized everything that's a loophole. Like, for instance, Peter and MJ's relation. The fact that Dr. Connors still have a piece of the symbiote. That's all I remember. That. Yeah. And as for... it's just screwed to hell. I'm sorry, people. It's just screwed to hell. Seriously, screwed to hell. Alright, now I have a few more cons left, and then I'll talk more about my 2 cents. Venom. The fact Venom was in the movie entirely, thanks to the producer, Avi Arad, who said to the director / writer, hey dude, Venom is a very good character and lots of people love him. You should put that in the movie. So that's another reason why the movie screwed up, is because a producer, which basically they just called him Avi Arad, his name, instead of saying a producer. So yeah, so basically the website I looked at called him out, straight up called him out. Alright, anyways, Harry did not heal up. His face didn't heal up, and the pumpkin bomb, but yet the gash he got on top of his head did. What the hell? Seriously, what the hell on that one? Eddie unmasked Peter. Do we ever like it when Peter gets unmasked? I mean, seriously, whoever likes that, that's good for you, and that's a messed up fetish, and you need to get that checked out, but I don't like it when Spider-Man's unmasked. Heck, I don't like it when his suit gets tore. Black webbing. Yes, this is the thing that started the black webbing in Spider-Man 3. Ever since Venom shoots black webbing, except for in the comics. The comics are safe, but as for Spectacular Spider-Man, Friend or Foe, and a few others, including the movie video game, he shoots black web now. So even Black Suit Spider-Man shoots black web. What the hell, people? I don't like that. That is horrible. What the hell, people? What the hell? Alright, next. Peter gets beaten up by Double Team. So basically he was getting killed. He was straight up getting killed. Who wants to see that crap? I mean, that was horrible looking at that. I was like, oh my gosh, that is some messed up crap. It's not as bad as Harry's sacrifice. The stupid foreshadowing that my mom basically poked out and said that's foreshadowing is the fact that Harry freaking kills himself. He gets in front of the freaking glider and Venom stabs him in the heart, in the chest. I have just two other things. I have two other things on the cons, but I think it's better just to elaborate on how I wanted to end it when I actually first came back home. When I came back home, I actually wrote a paper of the changes I would have done, which is far different from what I think today that I would make as changes. But back then, I wanted Harry to not go in front of him, but instead when Venom tries to stab him, he kicks him on the side of his face. He flies off the freaking building. Harry frees Peter. Peter says, I have an idea. Grab those two things and give them to me. He does. And then when Venom comes back, and also Harry previously called his glider back. And then that's where the whole Bell thing begun. And he tells Harry to step back. So Harry stepped back. He has his glider. So Harry, instead of Peter reaching for the pumpkin bomb, he says, Harry. Harry throws him a pumpkin bomb. He starts it and of course you know that he tries to help Eddie out. But of course Eddie, he's like, no! So he kills himself yet again. And well, it depends. I'm not a real good Venom fan, so if you want Eddie to still be alive, so he'll have like some kind of piece of symbiote left on him, but the symbiote's like so weak and it's like one spore, and the symbiote's basically saying, I know where's another sample of us is. Yeah. That would have been a good one for Spider-Man 4, is that he goes to Dr. Connors for the sample, but sadly the sample escaped and went back to Peter for another bonding. Holy crap. But of course we won't never know. And I saw that when Spider-Man 4 was like talked about, someone actually wanted Jim Carrey to be Bush Cassidy, because of his performance from number 23. But what would happen was basically that after that, Harry flies off in the sunset. Peter and Sandman has that talk, and basically it'll be a nice wrap up. And while Harry glides away, he sees Liz Allen, who he's currently dating, or maybe she was like far away. She started walking away, and of course Harry's masked, and he says, hey little lady, want a lift? And she's like, sure. And then there you go. See, that would have been cool, wouldn't it? But they didn't go that way. So we have the last two things I don't like. We have Harry's death, which is a pro and a con. The pro is just a look. Yeah, so basically when Harry just has his last breath, they have that beautiful sunset in the background. That's the only thing I like about it. As for the rest of it, it's horrible. And the ending, which also I should tell you, they had a final swing planned, but because of what the producers wanted, they just ended it with that hug. Which technically, I do have to admit, If you wanted to end a trilogy, that is one way to do it. It's just by having them hug, and then that's the end of the whole entire trilogy. Alright, now it's time for me to lash out. Spider-Man 3. Alright, so when Spider-Man 3 was about to come out, I mean, like in January, I remember all the way to January 2007, I was excited. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be awesome. Every single day I went to SonyPictures.com to look on and see what's the countdown. I did it every single day. I watched as they had Spider-Man 3 stuff basically put on. Like the screensaver and all that stuff, which later I did get a screensaver, but due to my computer crashed and died forever, the screensaver was lost. But I can get it back, but I just don't want to do it now. Anyways, I saw lots of stuff. I saw when they put the thing on there, how they added Black Suit Spider-Man. I was like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. Gwen Stacy's one. I think they had MJ had one, and then you had Harry's one. They had only 4. No, they had Sandman 2. That's for Harry's. It was just the one where he actually has getting possessed by the symbiote. He's screaming out saying, "Ah, it hurts. It hurts." I was waiting for this because I thought it would be good, you know, because the only way you can go now is up. It's like Spider-Man 2 and then Spider-Man 2.1. Wow, that's like, oh my gosh, it's so awesome. But as soon as I went in the theater, the first thing that threw me off was, like I said, is the beginning part where you had the symbiote freaking gooing around and stuff, which I didn't care about that at all. I thought that was like, ugh. And then you had like unbelievable parts, and I was like, what the hell? It's like really some what the hell parts, and then it's like, oh, that was good. But still, it's messed up when I actually want to change the movie. One thing I was doing was waiting for Spider-Man 3.1 to come out to explain itself. That they could actually put even more stuff in there, which I was hoping they, instead of putting 8 more minutes, I mean, Spider-Man 2 was good. It was very good. They didn't really need to add any more, but adding more made it awesomer, and they also put the police scanner in there just to add up to why, or when Peter got the police scanner. So, my goodness. I mean, when Spider-Man 3 ended, I felt so left out. I felt really left out. It's like, oh my gosh, man. That's horrible. Let's see. Who I can compare this with? I guess, like, when it comes to the Hulk, right? Lots of people said the Hulk sucked. The Hulk needs to get killed or something. Hulk the movie, it was okay with me. I was okay with that movie. I didn't want to change anything. And then we have Catwoman, which lots of people said that was a horrible letdown as well, but I think that was kind of a good one. And if they were actually planning to do a sequel on that one, well, they did want to plan a sequel because they ended it that way instead of ending it the way that they had. They had an alternate ending where it's like, that makes it nice. They just showed they just wanted to do that, and then that's it. They didn't want to make a sequel. They didn't want to make any more money. They just wanted to have Catwoman out so they can have a model for future years where they're like, we're going to do a remake, and they make it even better. Anyways, the only person or only thing that actually redeemed this movie was Spectacular Spider-Man, where they actually did have the suit change into anything. Well, somewhat. It changed to a shirt, but that's good enough. I mean, it did everything that the symbiote was supposed to do. Even more, except black webbing. Dang, really. Stupid movie. but it did a good job. They did a good job redeeming the symbiote, so I got a little bit more honored with the symbiote. And hey, at least it's better than what Ultimate Spider-Man did with the symbiote. Now that's even worse than what they did with Spider-Man 3. Oh man, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's true. That symbiote's even worse than the Spider-Man 3 symbiote. Alright, I can tell you that. At least the good news is that they actually went to the old idea that Venom was supposed to go to person. But since it got so popular with Eddie Brock, they didn't want to part it out. So that's why they created Carnage, who goes person to person. But in Ultimate Spider-Man, they allowed, I forgot the dude that wanted that to happen, maybe not Seth MacFarlane, but McFarlane, the artist. I think he wanted that to happen, but it got too popular, so yeah, that's the horrible thing, is that they did that crap. I mean, really, they did that crap. I was like, oh my gosh, man, I want it to be rewrote. I wanted it to have something. Oh my goodness, man, what the heck. Sorry folks, I was just going to log in my Tumblr because that's where I actually have some, well, I have most of my data that I just got. Yes, so it was like a month out before this anniversary, so I decided, why don't I just do some research about it. So yep, I did some research, and the research is shocking as heck. Okay, hold on, let me see. Oh yeah, drafts. Alright, there we go. Here we go. Spider-Man 3. Alright. After research. So, okay, here we go. So after research, it still sucked, but it was declared that A-Red was a big jerk who screwed over the movie. The producers had a hand in destroying the movie as well. Their future plan was to make a two-parter, not a three-parter, two-parter of the movie, featuring the Lizard, the Vulture, and guess who? Anne Hathaway is the Black Cat. But I guess since she got Catwoman, it will do for her, because she got to be a feline hero after all. And then we have some deleted scenes. Alright, we have some unbelievable deleted scenes. We have a kid swinging as Spider-Man on a tree. We have an extended Peter and Harry fight. We have an alternate or extended Sandman transformation. Alternate or extended Crane disaster. Peter visits Oscorp. Extended keys to the ceremony. Extra shots from the keys to the ceremony cut out of film. Extended armored car fight. Flint talks with his doctor, so the doctor that was supposed to cure Penny, and his name was Phil Wallace. Extended transformation of the black suit, extended subway fight, extended look in the mirror, which that was the one that we saw in the trailers, but sadly that got pulled because you can see that the fake teeth looks so fake, it's not even funny. Black suited Spider-Man swings in the daylight. Extended Norman in the mirror scene. Extended breakup scene. Extended Harry and Peter Parker mansion fight. Jameson's chimney. And a comical scene after Eddie is fired is when Miss Brent tries to calm down. Oh, Chimes, my mistake. Chimes, that would have been funny. Eddie visits Gwen, and this is where she actually breaks up with him. Extended jazz club one. It says there is a shot where MJ says, "What's happened to you?" instead of saying, "Who are you?" Extended church sequence. MJ tries to confine or convince Harry. Oh, convince Harry. Alternate Venom asked Sandman for help scene, which this one was in the movie game. Somewhat was in the movie game, except he didn't actually go get his daughter. Alright, alternate Peter asks Harry for help. In this shot, Peter is wearing his gray sweater and not his costume. Huh. Yeah, that would have been cooler. And less covert, and plus, if Liz Allen was there, then that makes it even much better. Except she'll be like, Peter, how did you get there? Extended or alternate final battle. A shot of MJ is missing from the theoretical cut, although the shot is with a symbiote reattaching to Peter. There is also a scene cut with Dr. Wallace seeing Flint's family and go and talk to Sandman. After this, just as Sandman is about to kill Spider-Man, Marco's family and Doctor convince Flint not to kill Spider-Man and tells Flint that Penny can't be cured. Then Flint explains Uncle Ben's death, also an invitation. Gwen comes to the final battle after noticing Eddie on TV as Venom. Wow. And, oh, we're not finished yet. Extended Harry's death and funeral. There are some shots along Peter and Gwen at the funeral. A couple of these are unfinished. Swing shots was leaked and weren't shown in the theoretical cut. So they did have a swing. Let me see how. Alright. Oh my gosh, wow. I'm going close to an hour. Well, it deserves it because this is my Spider-Man 3 review, and this is what I think of Spider-Man 3, and it's been 5 years, so it deserves to go through an hour. Yep, it's supposed to be a two-parter. And then we have leaked one, and then we have a source. The Spider-Man 3 source. It has like lots of stuff on there, so I might post this thing, I'm not sure. But yeah. So that is it, people. So the thing that could have been was we have the Vulture and we have the Lizard in a two-parter with the Black Cat. Could you say that because the third one can be seen like the first movie? That means the only way they can go is up. That one was going to be a good one, an unbelievable good one, and thanks to Sony, we don't get to see the good one. It doesn't get redeemed. Instead, we're going to stay ending with this messed up thing we call a third movie. Which lots of people don't call it a third movie at all. Some actually call it a show and dance. So 2 movies and a show and dance. Oh my gosh. Man. Well, that's it, people. Spider-Man 3. My personal opinion, it was horrible. It was very horrible. I wish I could have done something to help it. I wish I could have gone to the people who were writing it and say, this is how I want to do it. Let's test it on an audience to see if they want it the same way. And then, bam, you have a Spider-Man 3 that actually is worth watching instead of this one where it's like there's some good stuff and some bad stuff. So technically, you created the platform for Ultimate Spider-Man, where you have some good stuff and you have the stuff that didn't even need to be there, but thanks to producers, ta-da, producers, we pleased you so you can keep your money in there and stuff. And then there you go. You have this messed up movie that I don't even want to watch. I bought it, I bought it so I have the 3 trilogies, but I don't want to watch it. That's the messed up part. I don't want to watch it. It's not even like This Is It, where this is it. I enjoyed it so much, and when I bought it, I was like, I don't want to even open it so I can keep it for future generations and have it get oogled and ogled. But there you go, people. I mean, geez. Spider-Man 3. if you haven't watched it, and if this basically is what you see, so if you call this watching Spider-Man 3, well, there you go. And if you do want to watch Spider-Man 3 after hearing all this stuff, including spoilers and stuff, I say don't do it. Just don't do it, alright? Don't do it at all. The only way you should watch it is when you want a girl to actually be interested in comic book movies, and you show Spider-Man 3 where you have this messed up romance stuff, which this is what girls like. So that's it. I'm out of here, alright? This is game over. Screw Spider-Man 3. That's all I have to say.